Today, I'm going to empower you with a tool that allows you to work on your stress by yourself. You won't need me, you won't need anyone else. You can do it by yourself. And I can confidently say this because I've talked to many people in the past, many of my clients, and it's always the same structure. There's one step that's missing, one piece that's missing, and that is understanding what stress is for you, not for anyone else. Your individual experience, how does it start, how does it feel during, and what happens afterwards. This video, I'm going to give you the tools and a framework for you to analyze your own stress, and from there, it'll likely be very obvious, just for many of my clients, to know what to do. Hi, I'm Sven. I'm a holistic performance psychologist with the mission of empowering you with the knowledge and tools necessary to consistently achieve your goals. And I love that you're taking time today to explore a frame for stress and how you can look at your stress. I want to start this with a quote. It's not really a quote, but it's something that's often being said in many different ways. And that is, we fear what we don't know. So just by understanding your individual stress response better, you've already gone the first step, and it's going to be easier for you to work on it, and it's already going to be better just by understanding it. So let's jump in. How can you start by analyzing your stress response? Let's start before the actual response. And for that, you're likely to take some notes, or if you got good memory, you can just remember what has happened before. If you remember, I invite you to double check though, because sometimes our memories can be faulty. So, what happens before you start to get stressed? Is it something that you eat? Is it something that you do? Is it something that you don't do? Have you talked to someone? Have you consumed short form content? Did you do a lot of workout? What is happening beforehand? There's a myriad of possibilities and I can't really go over all of them. But I invite you to use the same frame that I like to use in general when looking at the environment. And that is, you got what do you do, the individual factor, and then what is the surrounding, the environment doing? And that can be, again, differentiated into other pieces, and that is what do other people do? And what's your static environment? How does your place look? What happened? Ideally there, you've already found a couple nuggets that you can work on. Hey, maybe you can avoid this, or you can start doing that, because you can also reverse this and look at what is it that is protecting me from stress. If I do this in the morning or before a stressful situation, I won't get as stressed. Same thing, just the opposite direction. Let's jump into what this stress response for you actually looks like. And again, there's a little piece, a little frame here for you. You got three factors primarily. You got the physical factor, you got the mental factor, and then you also got the emotional factor. Let's jump into each of them. The physical factor, there's two pieces to that. It is how do you feel, like what's your body doing? Not really how you feel, not your emotions. We'll get to that. But what is your body doing? What's your heart doing? How's your stomach feeling, for example? And then there is the physical piece, which is what do you do? What's your action? How do you cope with stress usually? What happens? When we talk about the second component, mental, we're talking about thoughts. What's your self-talk? Do you jump into these loops? Are you afraid of something? Are there thoughts that keep on popping up that you can't really push away? Intrusive thoughts? Explore that area as well. And then you got the last area, emotions. How do you feel? That's your interpretation of, or your body's interpretation, because most of the time that's automatic. It's quite hard to change. The automatic interpretation of everything else. That is what you do, how does your body feel, and what are you thinking? And for you, is going to be different than for other people. So maybe the specific combination of activation, physical activation, heart is going faster, blood pressure is up, maybe you feel a little bit tense, combined with racing thoughts, is your body's recipe for feeling stressed, for the emotion of stress and danger and discomfort. That is individual. So figure that out for you. I said that this video is going to be analysis, but I want to give you a little bonus tip here. And that is, now that we have all of those three components laid out, and hopefully you now understand better what your individual response is, at least if you take a moment, sit down and think about it. How do you change it? Because these interact. One thing causes another, right? You can also look at the way this develops over time. So maybe it starts with a thought and then it ends with a physical emotion, a physical feeling. You can look at the time, sure. But how do you work on this? Well, there's actually a little trick I can give you, this bonus, and that is you can work on each of these pieces by working on the other two pieces, because they're all interconnected. So if you struggle working with thought, can't really control your thoughts, you can use an action. You can get outside, go into a different environment. Maybe you can listen to a song to access the feeling side of things. And that is how you change the mental side. And you can do this with all three. And with that, there's lots to do. Jump into it. You got this. And if you're interested, as I said in the video, into what is happening afterwards, I invite you to check out another video on my stress series that I recorded some time ago, and I'll link it below.